Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 363. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is chasing paper versus chasing purpose. What does it really cost you? Chasing paper versus chasing purpose. What does it really cost you? Today, guys, I want to give you a little food for thought, and I really want to talk about being able to live your best life and craft your best life. So there's something that I always say all the time. Every day we wake up is an opportunity, but it's also one less day that we're going to have on this earth. And so I don't mean to sound morbid or whatever, but we're all working on a finite time period. So we have to make every day count. And if you're not working in your purpose and you're just chasing paper, that's a wasted day for me. Now, I know it may take you a minute to get to that transition from chasing paper to chasing your purpose, but the sooner you get there, the better off you're going to be and your loved ones. Now, before we get to today's show, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com, and my new rebooted, rebranded Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy. You can go to BEBacademy.com and get 5 days free access to the academy and have access to all of my online trainings, tutorials, online courses, and workshops. Now, let's get ready for today's show, chasing paper versus chasing purpose. What does it really cost you? So the first thing I want to do, guys, is define what purpose is. Now, purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. What is the purpose? Now, I really want to talk about, before we get into it, the impetus of this conversation. And so I was having a conversation with a good buddy of mine the other day, and he was telling me about a new job opportunity that he was looking into. And so he's getting up there in age, and he wants to retire probably in about 10 years. And so he's doing some real estate flipping on the side, buying and rehabbing properties and flipping. He's actually very well off financially. Not rich, but very, very well off, put it like that. He's not hurting for anything. And so he was telling me about this opportunity. He was really asking me, my thoughts on it. And I was like, okay, is this new opportunity going to pay you more money? And he said, yeah, it's going to pay me X amount dollars more. And I said, will it allow you to still do your real estate flipping? And he wasn't quite sure that he would be able to do that because the position that he has now, he has flexibility. And so he's able to go look at houses, buy houses, do some of the rehab himself, and then hire other people. And in the last 6 to 8 months, I think he's flipped 3 properties and made a nice piece of change. And so I asked him, I said, where does the joy come in? I said, I know you. We've known each other for years. I said, I know you get a thrill out of, flipping properties and and doing that. I know that you enjoy it. And I said, so what's the purpose in actually working, getting a new job that's going to pay you a little bit more? And what he said to me was, this new opportunity has bonus opportunities, and it also may have the capability of the company getting bought out within the next 5 to 10 years, which would give him a nice little piece of money. And I said, well, based on the numbers that you told me in terms of your flipping, and obviously the present doesn't mean that it's going to continue in the future. I said, why are you looking for somebody else to give you a bonus when you can create your own bonus? I said, think about it this way. I said, you flipped 3 houses. You put money in the bank. You started out with X amount of dollars. You don't need the proceeds of these flips to live on or put in your pocket. So I said, what you're doing, I said, bro, you're your own bank. So now you got $200 and something thousand in there after flipping these 3 properties. You keep flipping properties and keep adding to that bank. And I said, so within 5 years or 10 years, if you keep doing what you've been doing, then you're going to have that $1 million, $1.5 million, or whatever that you think that you might come out of corporate America with, and still be able to do what you love and chase your purpose. And he said, yeah, the market is great now. I'm going to flip. But if the market turns a little bit, I'll start to rent. And he had always talked about providing affordable housing for underserved communities. And I'm like, dude, you got it. I said, you got the formula that most people are looking for. You got the full-time job that you're doing basically in your sleep, making a couple $100,000 a year doing that. And now you're taking the extra time you have to create a situation where you're doing something that you enjoy and you're making a lot of money at. And so that was the impetus of today's show, because what I see so many times, guys, and, being a serial entrepreneur and having experienced this myself before, man, I used to chase paper all the time. This is a great opportunity. Let me chase this paper. And what you find out is after a while, if things get hard chasing paper, you're not going to have this stick-to-itiveness that you're going to need to be successful. And it's always something new that you're trying. Okay, so when you start chasing paper, it's not something that's a purpose for you. There's a purpose to make the money, but if you can combine chasing the paper with your purpose, then that's something totally different. And so that's how we got on today's topic, guys, because I see it all the time. I talk to people, I hate my job. I can't stand it. Well, why are you there? Oh, I got to make money. And we're going to talk about, number one, some of the signs of chasing paper. Okay. And I can raise my hand pretty much to all of these that we're going to go. Then we're going to talk about what does it really cost you when you chase paper? There's a cost that's associated with that when you're not chasing your purpose. So first, I want to start out with some of the signs of chasing paper. Number one, which most people notice right away, you're working at a job that you can't stand just to make $1. You're working at a job that you can't stand just to make $1. So I've had this conversation with my wife several times, and we just talked about, we were watching a TV show, and I said, it doesn't matter if you're selling your soul for $1 or $1 million. I said, you getting pimped. So it doesn't matter what you're selling it for. You're either a pimp or you getting pimped. And so when you sell yourself for $1, if you're working for corporate America, you're getting pimped. And please don't take offense to this. Trust me, because I used to work in corporate America too. Started in corporate, jumped out into entrepreneurship. That didn't work. Jumped back into corporate, then jumped out again. So trust me, I don't mean to sound negative or whatever. You may not be in the situation where you can start your business right away. But once again, it's either pimp or get pimped. So when you're working at a job that you know that you really shouldn't be at just for the dollars, is, hey, you're getting pimped out. All right. The next sign of chasing paper is you feel you're compromising your values, but you don't have a choice. You feel you're compromising your values, but you don't have a choice. So I remember when I was working as an advertising executive, and when I first started, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm helping these businesses get more customers, scale and grow. And so to me, that was exciting. So I was helping these businesses out. But after a while, when the politics of business started getting in the way and they wanted me to sell products and services that were overpriced and didn't work, that was a conflict for me because I was truly trying to help these businesses not just make a buck, but my values were compromised. But at the time, I didn't have a choice. Actually, I did have a choice. And actually what I did was I told some of the customers, don't do this. I'm going to lose business and lose sales, but you don't need to do this. So these are some of the signs that you're chasing paper. Another sign is you feel unfulfilled at your job. You feel unfulfilled at your job. So if you wake up and you're like, damn, I got to go to my job today, that probably means that you're unfulfilled. Okay, you're not excited by what you do. Okay, and once again, that means that your job isn't aligned with what your purpose is. Another sign that you're chasing paper is you may feel that your job is inconsequential and doesn't have any real impact. So a lot of times we want to feel that what we're doing for work makes a difference. Is it impactful for somebody? Is it truly impactful? And I got to a point in the advertising business as an advertising exec where I felt that what I was doing wasn't impactful. I don't care anymore. I was trying to provide the best services and products I could for my advertisers, but it got to the point where I didn't feel like I was doing anything. There was something bigger out there for me. There was something more that I knew that I was missing. And another sign that you're chasing paper is, guys, you jump from job to job or business to business to try to make money. And I'm raising my hand on that one too. Been there, done that. So it's funny when I talk about 17 different businesses that I started, and these are literal real businesses, not that I had 17 LLCs, but these were 17 different businesses that I've had over the years. And I've probably had about 7 different LLCs. And what I had to come to grips with was that, you know what? I knew I wasn't built for corporate America. So after I left that, I knew I wasn't coming back, God willing. But when I started jumping from business to business for the money. So number one, the alarm business. Okay, that was for the money because alarms were hot then. Some of the businesses I did based on my purpose is really this Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Trying to help people launch, build, and grow successful businesses. That's my purpose. And so once again, if you find yourself jumping from job to job or business to business, then that's a sign that you're chasing paper. I have another real good friend of mine, and we talk about this all the time, and he's finally gotten to the point where he understands that stay in your lane, bro. Stay and do something that you have an interest in. And then you'll become successful. If you keep jumping around from business opportunity to business opportunity, trying to make a buck, then I'm telling you, your chances of success aren't as great as if you're working within your purpose. Now, one of the things about me, people always ask me, man, 17 different businesses. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of the businesses were part of my purpose, but there were some I was just chasing paper. Now, what I like, basically, I'm not sure if other people are like this, but personally, I enjoy the thrill of trying to build a business from scratch. So I enjoy the purpose of building businesses. That whole process, systemization, that's something that I truly enjoy. Taking a concept and creating a vehicle that I can monetize, that's my thing right there. So it doesn't matter to me if it's alarm systems, if it's a marketing company, if I'm selling condoms, if I'm doing widgets or whatever. It's the process of building the business that really excites me. So I'm not in love with any particular type of business per se. Like I just started this new hot sauce business. I eat hot sauce. I'm not in love with hot sauce, but I saw an opportunity. And right now, the thrill of building this business, trying to get it in big box retail stores, that's something that keeps me amped up. Today, guys, we're talking about chasing paper versus purpose versus chasing purpose, and what does it really cost you? So we just talked about some of the signs of chasing paper. Now let's talk about, what does chasing paper really cost you? What does chasing paper really cost you? All right. So the other question I really want to ask is, what are you giving up or delaying by chasing paper? What are you giving up or delaying by chasing paper? So number one is the opportunity to live in your purpose or live within your genius, which I define as the intersection between your passion and your talent. So when you're chasing paper, one of the costs is that you're not living within your purpose. Okay, if your paper chase isn't aligned with your purpose, then you're not aligned at all. And so I want you guys to understand how important being aligned is with your occupation or your business and your purpose. So it's just like a car. So if you know your car hadn't been aligned in a while, you take your hand off the steering wheel, it's going to start to drift. And the further you go, that means the further it's going to drift out of alignment. Okay, so please recognize and understand this is not just a monetary thing, but it's also a spiritual and a mental thing. When everything is aligned, I'm telling you, your life is going to be a total 180 as opposed to chasing paper. So what does chasing paper really cost you? The opportunity to live in your purpose. It also costs you true happiness. Once again, because you're not aligned. And so I told you guys, anybody who's listened to the BEB podcast for any amount of time, I've told you guys that I'm living in my genius right now. My purpose is to help Black entrepreneurs launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. And so I'm living in my purpose, and I'm able to monetize that, and along with my other stuff, but I'm living in my purpose. So when I get up every day, that purpose is aligned with what I'm doing. And so when you get to that type of space, and I pray everybody gets there, living in their genius / or living in their purpose, then I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for you to go back. And so I know a lot of times it's not easy to get to that place, but you got to keep pressing forward. Another cost of chasing paper is it's a dream killer. I don't know how many people I talk to that tell me they want to start a new business, or they have a dream of doing this or creating that, but they can't because they got a job. They don't have enough time. Okay, I talk about, my oldest daughter, and there's a point of enlightenment. So everybody doesn't have that light bulb go off at the same time. So my oldest daughter's light bulb is flickering right now. It's flickering. And I think in a couple of years, once she gets to the point that she's like, you know what? I figured this thing out. I'm going to start, working and living in my purpose versus going and getting a paycheck. Now, once again, getting a paycheck, it all depends on your game plan. So some people want to stack their paper, give themselves a runway, so then they can start focusing on their purpose. That's great. But always have a plan. So if you're working at a job that you don't particularly care for, use that as a step. What part of the plan is that? Create a plan to be able to transition to, chasing purpose versus chasing paper. But my oldest daughter, I think eventually she's going to go out on her own. Not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I know her purpose is that of a storyteller. It's telling our stories, making impact and changing people's lives. So I know that's her purpose. She just has to figure out the way to get to that place, to be able to chase that purpose versus chasing paper. Okay. Another thing is the cost of chasing paper is the cost of inaction. So there's something called COI, and we all know what ROI is, return on investment. And then somebody coined the term cost of inaction. You never know what could happen if you don't chase your purpose. Okay, if you don't chase your purpose, you never know what's going to happen. So your inaction or inactivity of chasing your purpose, it means that you don't know what could have been. And so you never want to be in a situation where it's about time for you to transition. And I'm not talking about from employee to entrepreneur. Transition to the next realm or whatever you believe in. And you're like, man, I never took action on that. You don't want that to happen. And as I said at the outset of today's show, which I don't want to sound morbid, every day that we're blessed to wake up is one less day that we're going to have on this earth. So it's a blessing. But we have to remember it's finite, family, for this realm. It's finite. Okay, it could be, and I've had friends, pass away recently within the last year. I grew up with my good brothers, a couple of sisters I went to college with passed away. So you never know when your time is up. So you have to use your time wisely, and I guarantee you, it's best used chasing your purpose than chasing paper. And I understand you may have things that you have to take care of financially, a family and all that good stuff. I get it. But the faster you figure it out, the better off it's going to be. So the thing is, why you decide to chase paper is because you don't know how to monetize your genius / your purpose. So you have to create a system that's going to allow you to chase your purpose and get paid for it. Okay, in my concept of pinpoint and monetize your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent. Okay, now your purpose can probably be closely aligned to your genius. Okay, so if you want to go back, listen to episode number 199, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. Very short episode, about 20-something minutes, but it's one of the most impactful episodes and most downloaded episodes that I have. All right, the intersection of your passion and your talent, that is your genius. So it's do something you love, do something you're good at, do something people will pay you for. That's just like an abridged version. But it actually has, there's a worksheet that goes along with that episode that's going to help you find your genius space. So most people decide to chase paper because they don't know how to monetize chasing their purpose. Okay, let me just give you a couple of examples. So say your purpose is to help young boys become productive adults. That's your purpose, right? So the question is, how do you monetize that? Do you create an online course? Do you create an after school program? Do you create a rec center or a church environment that is either subsidized by somebody or the parents have to pay? It's just like, say, for a tutoring service. Your kids need additional tutoring in math. So after school, they go in there and their parents pay for that. So these are just some of the examples. Say your purpose is to start your own restaurant and give your kids a better life, right? So the monetization from that obviously is selling the food at the restaurant. Say your purpose is to help business owners scale and grow their business. You monetize that by selling your services. Also, say your purpose is to create content to help offset the negative stereotypes of people in the underserved communities. So you have to somehow monetize your content. The problem lies, guys, in the monetization aspect of chasing your purpose. And everybody's purpose is different, and everybody's monetization blueprint is going to be different. So make sure you go check out episode 199, Pinpoint Monetize Your Genius. That's going to give you a little more depth on what I'm glossing over right now. I'm not going to go in and redo that episode on this episode. But that's the real question. Life is a puzzle. And I tell my kids this all the time. Life is a puzzle. You got to figure that puzzle out based on you. Everybody has a different puzzle. It's like a fingerprint. Everybody has a different fingerprint. You have pros with you. You have cons. You have things that are positive about you, things that are negative about you. So everybody's equation is totally different. And so when I talk about pinpoint and monetize your genius or living in your purpose, everybody's path or blueprint is going to be totally different than somebody else's. It's funny. I was talking to a buddy of mine that's in the mortgage business, and we were laughing because people always compare their mortgage rates with somebody else's mortgage rates. And we used to tell customers it's just like a thumbprint. Everybody's is different. You may have a 720 FICO score, but your debt to income ratio may be 20% higher than somebody else's, which is going to affect your rate. You may not have as much savings in the bank as somebody else, which looks better to a mortgage company. And so even superficially, your scores are both 720. There are intricacies to this thing. That's just like the intricacies in being able to live in your purpose or chase your purpose. What's your home life situation look like? Are you able to step out on your own and go and chase that purpose? Or do you need to keep a job while you do it? Do you have responsibilities and liabilities? Mortgage, car, kids, school, tuition, or whatever. So everybody's is going to look a little different. But what I really want to give you some food for thought about, guys, is to create a plan. Because if you're not living in your purpose, or if you're chasing paper versus chasing your purpose, then you're not living your best life, in all honesty. You may have a great life monetarily, chasing paper. My buddy I was telling you about that was debating on taking this new job that paid more, but wouldn't allow him to do his real estate investing. So it may not be money. You may be fine with paper, right? But the question is, what does chasing paper cost you? What does it really cost you? And most times, guys, it boils down to happiness or true happiness. There's a difference between happiness and true happiness. True happiness is when everything is aligned. Okay? Your purpose and your paper. Okay? Chasing your purpose and you got the paper. That's when everything is aligned. That's true happiness. The problem is, like I said, guys, we don't know how to monetize that. So today's show is a little shorter than normal. But before we close on out, guys, let me give you my contact information and my resource links. I'm going to start off with my resource links. Once again, everything can be found at bebconnect.com, bebconnect.com. That will take you to a page on the website with links to everything I'm about to tell you. So first and foremost, at the top of the show, I mentioned my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for print, $9.95 for the digital version. If you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, my flagship program is out, Brand Builder Academy Elite, a 15-week implementation program that takes you from concept and ideation to selling your physical products brand or digital products brand, all the way to selling on your own sites and other platforms. So you can go to bebacademy.com, bebacademy.com, and enroll in that. Now, I also mentioned at the top of the show, guys, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy. First one I talked about was besmartbyblack.com. If you are a black product producer and you want to sell your products to black consumers worldwide, upload your product information. It is free, and you can connect with black consumers worldwide to sell your product. Now, I didn't forget about you freelancers. So if you do anything on Fiverr.com or freelancer.com, I created a site for you also, which is free to upload your information, called hireblackfreelancers.com, HIRE blackfreelancers.com. So make sure you go there, upload your information, and you can connect with black businesses and black consumers who want to hire black freelancers. Also mentioned at the top, guys, bebacademy.com, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy. The majority of my online courses, masterclasses, workshops, and trainings are in the academy. You can get 5 days free access. Just go to bebacademy.com. Try before you buy. You can go and take anything that you want in there. All the courses you can. There's no restrictions. bebacademy.com. Once again, just go to bebconnect.com and all of that contact information will be there. Now, also mention, I'm going to give you guys my social media contact information. Anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, Twitter, jjones001. JayJones. Instagram, I have 2 Instagram accounts. The main account is J Jones for real, JayJones, the number 4, REAL. And also the other IG account is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, connect with me on YouTube, family. I have additional content on YouTube that does not come out on the show. Yes, the show does come out on YouTube every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with all the major podcast platforms. But go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and hit that like and subscribe button. Also, LinkedIn, please connect with me at LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. And if you're on Clubhouse, link up with me there at I am J Jones, at I am J Jones. Once again, that's a mouthful, family. Just go to BEBconnect.com and you'll have links to everything I just talked about. Once again, the new website will be out soon, so all you're going to have to do is go to BEB Connect or blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. It's going to take you to the same place, and you'll have a personally guided tour around the website. And the website is designed to be a resource, or the resource for Black entrepreneurs. So being able to go and take you to the content that you need to learn about or you're interested in, as opposed to just going on the site playing around. So that's coming out soon. We're actually going to have the brothers that created the site for me once it goes live. They're doing a tremendous job. It's about to launch within the next, I'd say, 2 weeks probably. And instead of me reading out all this stuff, I'm just going to say, go to BEBconnect.com or blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Now, before we close on out, guys, I just want to implore you guys, if you're chasing paper, I get it. But look, you got to start chasing your purpose. So sit down and identify what your purpose is. And then you need to figure out a way to create a system that monetizes while you chase your purpose. Once again, being aligned, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. When your purpose and your paper are aligned, come on, man, you can't beat that. So also don't forget, check out episode 199, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. That's one of the most downloaded episodes that I have. And once again, it gives you a framework of how to create a monetization blueprint for your genius, which is the intersection of your passion and your talent, which probably is closely aligned to your purpose. Now, before we close on out, family, I say this each and every week. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, and the movement. Once again, we're trying to build nations over here. Nation building is what we're talking about. We have to continue to build and support Black-owned businesses because we need to build an economic power base in the worldwide Black economy. So there's no revolution without economics, family. Economics affects everything. It affects education. It affects media. It affects politics. It affects health. It affects everything. So we need to make a conscious effort to build and support Black-owned businesses. We're on our phones all the time, right? Let's start using our phones to search out consciously and spend our money with Black-owned businesses. That business doesn't have to be in your neighborhood. You know why? Because I guarantee you're ordering stuff online anyway. So seek out a Black-owned business and start supporting those businesses. And once again, we have everything that we need to be self-sufficient. The problem is we hadn't put that plan into effect. And that's all Black Entrepreneur Blueprint is about, family. Once again, building an economic power base in the worldwide Black economy. And if you're a first-time listener to the show, we drop every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.